Okay, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to use aggregate functions in pandas. So the first thing we need to do always, we have to import pandas into our notebook. Once we've imported pandas, then we have to read the CSV file we are going to be using for this particular experiment. So the next thing I did was simply to rename. We've learned how to rename. I renamed the column state/union territory to state because I don't want to have to spell this long column name. So that's why I did it. So once I've done that, I will display my results. Alright. Okay, I'm getting. Once I've done this, I'll display my results. Okay, so now I've gotten my results. So normally I would need to drop the rows that I'm not going to be using, but since that is not the focus of this particular class, we will just skip that. So the first thing is using the group by method to group your data, right? So as you can see from our data, we are seeing Kerala is occurring multiple times. And if you really go through the data set, you'll see that the states are occurring multiple times, right? So we need to group it we need to group the information for all the states and all, so it groups the states, right? Then it gives us a grouping where we can get the mean, max, sum. Those are aggregate function, right? Like we'll be doing in Excel. So first I'm going to call this group. I'll say data frame dot group by. This is a method. You can always call your shift tab on it. It gives you what it takes in. So okay. Say group by then passing your by. I'm going to say group by states. You can actually group by multiple things, right? You can group by states, comma, something else. But I'm going to be doing group by states for this example because it fits in with my data frame. Just grouping by state is the only thing that really fits on my data frame. So I'm going to be doing group by just state. So once I run this and go back to my data, right? Okay, it's not coming up. Let me just put down group. Data frame group by states. Okay, to actually see any of the values I want, I would have to put in a method or a function to actually see. Let's see, what's the error? What did we do wrong? Let's see. Quite long error. Okay. Okay, group by states. Then so actually see, let me check something now. Group by group dot count. It's passing pure. Okay. So as you can see, it has essentially grouped it by states. It grouped all of them by states, and like I said, you can also group by do grouping. Let me call it group 2 right? And group your data frame by multiple. Let me just copy this over here and do a grouping. You see the difference with it. Group by state, comma, depth. I think I will need to, let me see, depth. Alright, let's see if this runs. What was the error? Group by, I think I needed to, is it dead or dead? Let me see, let me check it. Dead, okay, S, there's an S. Okay, dead, sorry. So, let's see. Okay. Let's go through the result. Let's see if there's a difference. It's not much of a difference. Not much of a difference. Okay. So I think the reason there isn't much of a difference is because the debts are pretty similar, right? Okay, I'm using the same thing. That's the reason. So I'm grouping by debts. You can see you have your states, then all the unique debts for that state, right? Then all the results, like all the cures for that particular state, right? So you have your state, all the unique debts, and the cure is going to be way more than this, right? It's going to first group by the first item you pass in. It's going to group by all the unique debts, right? Then it's going to now maybe this particular data has 1, 2, 3, but this doesn't work with this data frame, so I'm not going to use it on this data frame. So going back to 2, right? Then the another thing you can actually do is you can pass in your, I think there's a way to sort. There's sorting, sort here. You can add sort equals to true. I think it does that automatically. I think it does. Group key, observed, level, it's indexed by, yeah. I think it does that automatically. It's already true. Sort is already true. So we just leave it as it is for now. So this is basically you applying aggregate function, right? So to apply an aggregate function, you could just pass it in like this. And say count or max. Let me use max for this. Max, run this. Okay. So using aggregate function, you can just apply aggregate function straight up like this, and it gives you group max. Let's see what it gets us. Okay. It's simply for each of the states, it's simply giving us the max, right? For that group, it's giving us the max, and it's not really applying it very well. As you can see, like this first one, we have our domain, right? So the max state number in that domain is this, the max date is this, the max time is this, the max date is this. So it's applying the max to each of the column, right? Each of the column here, the max cure under this particular state group is this, then the max date is this, then the confirmed case is this, and it's going to do that for each and every one of them, right? So why not want that? So if you want to get for a particular column, maybe you just need the max for the debt column, right? Or the max for the cure column. You can just say copy these two right over here. Instead of giving it for everything, simply just pass this either like this, then passing debts. Okay, you're going to get the max for each of the state, or you can pass it like the way it is right over here. You can pass it like this as well, and it's going to work. So either way you pass it, it's going to work, right? And you can also pass multiple. Let's go back over here. My mouse is not okay. Let me show my mouse and see if it's going to fix this. Okay, so let me just scroll this out. Next, you could also go like this, put in your square brackets, then pass in multiple columns that you want to work with. Cured and run this. Okay, I think this would work. You're getting for the columns you passed in, and it also works the other way, right? So that is that. Doing this. Okay, totally forgot. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take one of the group we have, then we want to select every single rows that are inside of this group, right? We want to see the rows that are inside of it. Maybe for some reason we need to see the rows that are inside of our particular group. We need to get group method, right? Let me see if it is correct. In this group, okay, that is a group. Then you pass in the name of the group, right? So now you're going to get every single item. If you go through this, right, you see that every single item in this group is of this state as right? Say I get another one. Let me get quote, copy, paste. See, every single item I'm getting is of this state Goa, right? So that's how you get just a particular list, and you can also assign this to another list of thing just to work with that if you want to. So the next thing, you can actually run multiple aggregate function for a particular row at once, right? So to do that, you simply have to do group, use the name of the group, name you give to the group, then say aggregates. This is a function, right? Then in this function, you can go inside aggregates using one or more operation over the specified axis, right? So we have can take a string, a list, a dictionary, or none, right? So let's see, arguments, engine. So I'm going to use the arguments, right? I'm going to say take in a list of, this is what I want to give you aggregate for, of counts. I think I will need to max. Let me see if this would run. Okay, I think I need to actually put this in a square, put this like this. Okay, so I need to put it like this. Then now, as you can see, I'm getting the max for each of the items. I'm getting the counts, the mean, the max and the mean. For the date, I'm going to count the max and the mean, and I can just, for the one I want to actually work with, I can just create a square bracket right here and pass in, say I want for just my cured, just pass this in, I'm getting the count, the max and the mean, right? So you can also, like we did in the previous one, just copy this and reverse where the square bracket is going to go. Put it just after this, and you're simply going to get the same result again. It's not going to be different. You're simply going to get the exact same thing. Okay, so the next aggregate method you need to know is how to, as this right now, we are applying these particular functions to each and every one of our columns, right? But to do this, if we need to, say for the pure we want to get the max, for the depth we want to get the mean, right? And do maybe a little calculation. We'll be doing something like this in our project, right? So to do that, all we simply need to do is to pass in our group, back our group, then dot aggregates, right? Then the next thing we're gonna have to do is, I think we need to create a dictionary, then say for depths, give me let's say give me max, right? Then for cure, cover this here, give me mean, let me cover this, and like this. I think this would work. From this, yeah. Okay, for the depth we are getting the max, for the cure we are getting the mean, for the depth, max, cure, mean, then go all the way down, and I think the mean for all of them is 0. So if I should switch this to max, run this, I'm getting the max cure for this particular location, right? So I can do this for each and every one of them. I would generally use this, we'll be using something like this in the future. So you know that works as well. So you can also use the filter operator, the filter method, sorry, on your column, right? On your function. You can go here and say filter. I think it applies a function to each of the group. It applies a function to each of the group, right? So what I'm saying is, like this example is saying quite a function that group by x showing x dot mean is greater than 3. Okay, so let's use this particular example here. This is what we are going to use, but we are going to create it for our own case. So we want to get the, from this our group, we want to get when the numbers of cure, we want to return the groups where the cured, this is the max, also when the max for a particular group where the max is greater than, let's say 200, right? On this. So let's go back to here. See how we got my rules. Are we getting everything? Should not be getting everything. Let's count. Let's see. Let me see something. Let's go all the way back. How many rows do we have? 1, 5, 15, 114. Let's see for here as well. 15, 114. We are getting how many here? 15, 200, 0. Okay, it's a bit less. So what I'm gonna do is, let's use the reverse. Let's say where the max is less than 100. Let's count, see what we've got. Right, we're getting even less. It's only returning for any group right? Like we've done the grouping, right? Then we have for each of the group we're checking the max of that particular group. Is it less than 200, right? So that's what we are getting, and I think this all of this value, the max is less than 200, so that's what we are getting these ones, right? So we can get a group, then do the filtering with the values in the group, then once we run that, it will give us from the main table, it will give us the results, right? So that's what's going on here. So there's one last thing I want to show you. We've grouped by an entire table, by the entire data frame, right? So we can also do a grouping by just one. And if right here we grouped by the entire table, but nobody else do a grouping by just one of the columns. We take one of the columns, say, what we're going to use, let's use, I think, let's use debt, right? Then group the debt. It's going to be the same thing, but with this result, well, I'm just going to get the result for just that one column, right? Then group by, instead of getting for the entire table, I'm just going to get it for that one column. Group by, let's say, yeah, states. I think it's state with an S. This state with an S or just states. Let me check it. States, okay. So if we run this, let's go, let's see what the error is coming from. State, okay, I think I have to, when I'm grouping it by that, I would now need to, since I'm doing it by just one, I'll need to cover this inside the square bracket, right? I'm grouping that, this one seed of column with this another column, right? That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to have to put it in a square bracket. Like I'm taking this column, I'm grouping this column by that column, just the two of them. That's what I'm grouping it by. So I have to do that. And okay, I think I would need to assign this to something. Group underscore row. Right, so I need to assign this to something. Then I'll need to run an aggregate function on it. Let's just run max on it. Max, okay. So this is the state. I'm grouping this item by state, right? So I'm going to see the state for each of the states. I'm going to get the max depth for each of the states, right? That's how this is. And this is how it's going to be. So I can't actually get any other thing apart from this, right? It's essentially doing the grouping on the entire data frame is what we did here. Where we did the grouping on the entire data frame, then we came down and just selected the max for just one state, the same thing. But when I do it that way, I will not be able to communicate with the initial table again, right? So that's it. So please go over the notes, watch the videos and practice.